Hey everybody, hope you're still doing great. We're going to continue on with our collage using the program GIMP. This is part 4B. We're going to continue learning some of the selection tools. We are going to work with the intelligent scissors because if I'm going to get some scissors, I don't want dumb ones. Alright, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to turn off the gradient. We're going to turn off our thingamajigger there. I already zoomed in to where I wanted to be. I'm going to go to my tools, I'm going to go to selection tools, and I'm going to go to intelligent scissors. And so basically you just click along the edges. For me, I'm going to go to these corners, and it just kind of figures out what I want. It creates a path that follows the outline of the flower. And so I'm going to hit pause on the video. I'm going to keep clicking until I'm done here so you don't have to watch. Okay, so I got all the way around, and so then on the last one, I'm going to go back to the first one. And you can see that it changes from a plus to like, oh, are you done? And I click, it's like, yes, I'm done. And it tries to calculate the very last one, which takes some time. So you can see that it did a pretty good job of figuring out what I wanted, except for here. So you can see I can add, you can see that little plus sign. I can click on the path and add an anchor point. And then I can drag that anchor point out to where I think it should go, and then it recalculates. And so I'll do that in a couple of spots. I'm going to do that here. And drag it out to where it should go. And I think that's pretty darn good. Okay, so when I'm done editing my maybe this one. This one could probably scooch you over a little bit. I got overzealous. And now it's causing problems. So I'm going to add an anchor point there and then move that out slightly. Alright, good enough. Alright, so now when I've done editing my path, I can hit enter and it turns it into a selection. And so as usual, once I have it as a selection, I can edit the pixels in that selection. So I can go to like colors, and I could go to, let's go to saturation. So what I'm going to do is it purifies and brightens the color. So like right there, it's going to try to take that kind of dull red and turn it into a pure red. So I can drag the little scale here, and you can see that it saturates that color. Okay, and I can click OK. So the other thing again I can do when I have a selection, I can make a copy of it. Actually, before I do anything more, I want to save this selection. I really like that selection. I did a lot of work with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the paths. Okay, and then I'm going to say I want to take that selection and I want to turn it. I want to take that selection and turn it into a path. And so there you can see it there. I'll give it a name. I'm going to call it Big Red because this is a big red flower. Anyway, so if I ever need that selection again, I can come back and use that. All right, so let's go back to our layers, and we're going to go edit, and we're going to go to copy, press Control-C on the keyboard, and then we're going to go edit, paste as, we're going to say a new layer, and I'm going to name this layer Little Red Flower. Okay, and what I want to do is I'm going to shrink this particular one down. You can see I have just the flower by itself on the separate layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the scale tool, and I'm going to check what I'm doing. Right here it is changing the layer. So anyway, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to click on this thing, and I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to make a little version of this guy and move it over here just like that, and then I'm going to hit enter when I'm done. Okay, so now I want to do some interesting work. So I'm going to come up here to my sunflower layer. Now this is this is going to be kind of dumb, but it shows you some cool things you can do. All right, so I'm going to go select none. None won't let me do it. Okay, apparently it doesn't think anything's selected. Okay, so I'm going to go back to I'm going to go to my, oh, I've got this floating. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It goes with a floating selection. I have to press Control H to anchor it. Okay, so it'll get me out of that. Whenever there's a floating layer, you have to anchor it before you can go on. You have to finish it. Okay, so now I am going to go to my paths, and I'm going to click on big red here, and I'm going to load that back as a selection. So my selection's back. So, but I want to work with that selection on my sunflower layer. So I'm going to come over here to my scale tool, but this time I want to scale the selection. So I'm going to click and drag on that selection. I'm going to make that selection little. So it's not changing any of the artwork yet. It's just playing around with that selection. I'm going to move that selection over here to my sunflowers. I'm going to hit enter, and now what I'm going to do, if I hit delete, it's going to delete the wrong thing. So I'm going to hit Control Z to go back. So I'm going to go select invert. So I'm going to select everything but that thing, and I'm going to hit delete. And so now I have sunflowers in the same shape of my flowers. Okay. All right. So let's go back to our spiel. And how does the Intelligent Scissors tool work? You click around the edges, and it kind of finds the path for you, and it's editable, which makes it nice to do like really precise selections. All right, that's good for one video. We'll keep going on the. All right, continue on with the next video. We'll continue on part C, and we're going to continue learning about more.